To introduce Dr. Chris Hampton, and got the pleasure of working on the board at United Way with Dr. Hampton. And as I talked to him, I come to find out he's an extremely humble person, so I can really appreciate that. But Dr. Hampton, he's got his Doctor of Education from ETSU. As Mary Lee said, probably doesn't need an introduction, but just a tremendous amount of accolades. And as I was talking to him about coming today, we're trying to figure out what's his title. And thankfully, we can now call him the permanent superintendent of Kingsport City Schools. So, and it's very rare as the programs committee that we don't want a speaker to show up. And selfishly, I was hoping he wasn't going to be here today. You probably wonder, why would that be? Well, if Dobbins Bennett would have won, he would have had to be in Nashville. So, but unfortunately, that didn't happen, and we're blessed to have Dr. Hampton with us today. So, won't go into every accolade, otherwise I'd probably take up every bit of the speaking time that we have. But in addition to his being involved with Kingsport City Schools, he's adjunct professor in 2019 at ETSU, his alma mater, and then sort of interesting, I didn't realize how you could be named Principal of the Year so many times and by so many organizations. So, but he's been the AF Bridges Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association Principal of the Year in 2022 and 2021, the Tennessee Principal of the Year in 2020, the Kingsport City Schools Principal of the Year, and the accolades go on and on and on. So with that, I'll introduce Dr. Hampton. Speak into it. Yeah.
We'll do a test. Did it work? Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. Thank you for inviting me to come and speak. This is, I was happy to accept long before I knew what this week might entail for Dobbins Bennett. I was very sad to have to drive back for not only for this engagement, but the tournament for us had ended. But kudos to Coach Poore and his team for an incredible showing, a great example of resiliency and character, and they represented Kingsport to make you proud to call them your hometown high school. Let me say thank you to Kingsport. 27 years ago, I rambled into Kingsport not knowing a great deal about how remarkable this community is and was going to be. And the education started fast and furious for me, as at that time I was a school counselor at Dobbins Bennett. And I was astounded at the level of support, the level of commitment, the level of generosity that this community poured in to that high school. And as my tenure at Dobbins Bennett continued, the Kingsport's love affair with the school only strengthened. And I suspect that's how it's been for 102 years. It's been a remarkable partnership. I'm speaking specifically for Dobbins Bennett. Now, for the last 6 months, my view's been a little different, and I'm even that much more astounded at the level of support that Dobbins Bennett received. I also get to experience at Kennedy and Jefferson and Adams and Robinson and Sevier and DBXL and Palmer Center and on for 14 different sites. It is remarkable what this community gives back to us as a school system. I hope you're satisfied with what we give back to you as the citizens of Kingsport. We public education is a cornerstone of a quality community. There's no question about that. And judging by where Kingsport is, I have to feel proud for what we've accomplished as a school system in Kingsport. And 102 years strong and 102 years proud, and I'm quite confident we're going to give you another 102 more for which you can be proud and celebrate. I'll tell you a little bit about who I am, and my way background doesn't really matter. What matters, I'll tell you the things that I think about me that matter, and then I'll tell you a little bit about, I was asked to talk about what my vision for the city schools would be as superintendent. What matters about me, and I think this is important for you and it's important for our community to know and to hear this, is that I love Kingsport. I love the students of Kingsport. I love our teachers, our citizens, and everything we stand for. I've been able to witness firsthand how life-changing the support that comes from this community yields individually and holistically. I could give you example after example after example. And so I'm proud to stand before you as a resident of Kingsport. I'm exceptionally proud to stand before you as the superintendent of schools. Exceptionally proud to stand in front of you as a former principal at Dobbins-Bennett High School, which is probably where my heart will forever remain through my current position and throughout and far beyond. Something else that I think is important for you to know about me is that it is my desire to promote the best interest of this community and the highest quality of learning for our students. That's what matters most to me. I would not have pursued this position permanently if I didn't think that was possible, and if those things weren't the most important things for me as a leader to serve, to do, to provide. Because at Dobbins-Bennett, I knew I could do that. I knew that the platform existed for that to happen. Shortly into this tenure, the interim position for superintendent, it was very clear to me that those same opportunities at Dobbins-Bennett were present at the district level, and I look forward to being a part of improving Kingsport. Kingsport's an awesome place to be already. Look forward to supporting through this leadership role the improvements that are to come for sure. Faith is very important to me, and for such a time as this, we are given opportunities to do that which I think can change the world. Every one of us have those moments every day, and we just don't recognize them. And maybe what brought that near and dear to me was a card that a colleague had given me upon the board voting for me to be in this position. And the quote in the card was, "This place where you are right now, God circled on a map for you." That took me to a different place. The divine intervention, the preparation and opportunity that brought me to a place where I could serve is humbling. It's very humbling to me. The resume didn't open the door. My education, thankful, I think the transcripts are purged, didn't open the door. This place today was circled a long time ago, and it's an honor for me to be able to serve through that. And public education, and specifically public education in Kingsport, is my mission field. It is where I want to serve. It is where I want to commit my time and effort, and it's where I hope to bear fruit. The fruit of my labor bears out. So I'm grateful again to Kingsport for giving me that opportunity. The things that are important to me in this position, number one, and I think this is important probably across every organization and every structure in the world, is the ability to build relationships and make connections with people. In my role, it will be with employees and community members, parents, students. As a principal, that was a bit easier to do. That was, every day I walked into a school with 280 adults, and 2,400 students. And unfortunately, when a school is that size, it's hard to make close connections and close relationships with all the students. But consistency over time goes a long way. And it's wonderful. There are a couple former students in the room today, and who may not remember me, which is fine. But I know I remember them. And that is such a part of a legacy, not because any greatness on my part, but knowing that whatever their experience, if they're in a Kiwanis meeting at this point in their lives, then something right happened somewhere. And if I played any role in that, or the organization that I represent played any role in that, then something right has happened. So building relationships, making connections, that was probably a hallmark of what I brought to Dobyns-Bennett, the cultural side of it. In a large school, that's a hard endeavor to make, but we did that in hopes of every student feeling seen and heard and respected and loved. I think all of those things matter. If we're not going to lead through love, then we're probably not leading. That's my philosophy. I imagine that many would disagree, but it has paid off well in my life, and so I will continue that path. If we can't do that, I feel like we're missing the mark. I can assure you, I will not lead effectively otherwise. Those are my roots, and that is how I will lead. The most important thing to me, the very most important thing, is that the students of Kingsport get a high quality learning experience. That is why this position exists. It's why we unlock our doors in all of our schools every day, is so that students can walk through those doors and leave at the end of the day better than they were when they walked through. Better prepared, better celebrated, better loved, and they can walk away after, regardless of their school, they walk away knowing that someone is invested. Many people are invested in their futures. And then when they finish the totality of our school system, when they walk away from Dobyns-Bennett, that they can walk into a career, a post-secondary educational experience. They can do something. They have the skills that will allow them to do something upwardly mobile, family supportive, and that will make Kingsport a better place. We're the only high school in Kingsport proper. If we're not serving that role, then Kingsport's in trouble. And so I take that very seriously. Now, I'm not the superintendent of society. We all carry that role to a degree. Humanity lets us down on occasion. Let me take it back. Humans let us down. I don't think humanity ever lets us down. But we need every day when we walk into our schools, or I walk into the office, and most days I am walking into schools. I find that to be a very important part of this job. That's what I want to demonstrate. Kindness, humanity, and hope for whatever comes next. Many of our students leave Kingsport. Some of them come back, some of them don't. We prepared them for greatness, so we can't be mad if they don't. Greatness occurs all over the place. And so, but those who choose to stay have to be great. In order for us to get better, those who stay have to be great. And that's a commitment I have for however long this relationship in this role lasts. That is what I'm hoping to do, is make Kingsport a better place through my role in Kingsport City Schools. So high quality learning, the very first, most important thing. High school folks will be surprised to hear me say this, but the most important thing to me is pre-K through second grade. The foundation has to be established, and it has to be established on solid ground. We have too many students whose first experiences in life contradict the ability to learn. We have to start early and often, intervening deeply to try to, at times, undo the things the challenges that they've experienced in life. But then we have the opportunity to elevate and move them to a new, different, better place. And so that, again, high school people will be quite surprised that is the area where I'm starting. But if we don't do that part right, the rest is exponentially more challenging. And continue to provide excellent opportunities all the way through. Their elementary, middle, high school, career and technical, post-secondary, all of those endeavors which fall under the umbrella of Kingsport City Schools. We have many students every year who leave our school system with associate's degrees. We get them from about age 3 to 18, but we accomplish a great deal in that amount of those 15 years. So when you're a graduate of Kingsport City Schools, Dobyns-Bennett High School, you leave with the ability to do something great. That you leave knowing that you were supported, you're part of a fraternity or a sorority that will be connected for life. If you would, just as a show of hands, if you're a Kingsport City Schools graduate, or you have a child or a grandchild or a family member who are products of Kingsport City Schools, let's see your hands. So I hope you know that so I'm not speaking to a group of strangers. I hope my vision has been your experience with wherever or whatever your connection to Kingsport City Schools has been. A next area, which I imagine a couple of generations ago a superintendent wouldn't have said this, but safety and security is of utmost priority to me. I mentioned that society can be tough sometimes. So just know this. I know we have some. I see some friends in the audience who are former law enforcement. Any and everything that you can possibly experience in the community will find its way into the school or school system. It's not the principal's fault. It's not the school board's fault. It's not the superintendent's fault. That's society's fault. In some regards, it's all of our fault. We all play a role in that. And so those are challenges. Those are daily challenges. We deal with things in school today that some of you might be surprised to learn. But we deal with those things because we love the whole student. We want to support students. But part of what I hope to do is to create an environment where less and less of those kinds of distractions and dangers are daily present in the lives of our students. Now, anyone who would stand in front of you and say that those societal ills are not present in their schools or are not a problem in their school systems or private, public, whatever we're talking about, they're wrong. They're just wrong. And so I'm not proud to say we have those challenges, but I'm not going to lie and say we don't have those challenges, because by owning them and naming them, we can start working to solve them. And we have to do that. We can't be too proud to admit the areas that need more work. And those certainly exist. So that's certainly high on my priority list. I had plenty of experience in my 26 years at Dobyns-Bennett working on that. More positively, we're in the middle of an exciting facilities plan. Some of you might be surprised, but there are a few people who've moved to Kingsport recently. The line at Hardee's is a little bit longer every morning than it was the day before, it seems. We have a dozen plus housing developments going on within the city of Kingsport that are scheduled to come online in the next 5 years. Our housing projections will increase our student enrollment in Kingsport City Schools by 300 to 800 students by 2033. So we're running about 94% capacity right now across all of our schools. So adding 800 more could prove to be a significant impairment if we don't start planning today. Actually, if we didn't start planning 18 months ago for that enrollment boost. And so that's we're in the midst of it. That's what I've spent the most time on in the last 6 months. We started with 4 plans, and we are quickly narrowing to 1, working very closely with city government to refine our plans. We plan to discuss what our final recommendation is in a joint work session with our Board of Mayor and Aldermen and the Board of Education in April. And the plan's not set in stone yet. There's still some work to be done. It could be anything from adding schools to closing school to consolidation to, there's a variety of options in order to, but what we know is 300 to 800 students are coming. And there's an expectation from you, the citizens of Kingsport, that they have an outstanding experience. And so with those parameters in place, we're working very hard to create an experience that will continue to be an attractor to outside regions for Kingsport. There are a variety of reasons people are choosing to move here. People know this. People don't move to places with bad school systems. They do not. That's a fact. If you want to hire upwardly mobile professionals, they are not going to come to your organizations if you don't have a school system that will support their learning goals. And so we're very aware of that and know that the long-term health and sustainability of Kingsport, we bear some responsibility in that, and I take that very seriously. I was told to leave time for questions. I love to talk, but what I love to talk, you haven't heard me talk a great deal about me. I love to talk about kids and their accomplishments and their achievements and the teachers who love them, the educators who embrace them, the activities they participate in, performing arts, athletics, co-curricular. There's so many. We got a group of kids today at MIT that MIT requested to come and work with them on some biology work that we have, synthetic biology work that we're doing at the school, Dobbins-Bennett and Dobbins-Bennett Excel. So I could talk for days about those things. You see those things in the media, social media. If you have kids, grandkids, family members and friends, you hear about those things. So I'm not going to belabor a list of accolades, but know that my heart and my energy and my focus and my passion lie in this community. My commitment to giving every student an opportunity to be excellent lies in this community, and it's why I endeavored this position. That's why I wanted to have the opportunity to do this job. Mr. Welch is here, a school board member. I appreciate that his demonstration of faith in me. I tell people it's been a 26-year interview. I served as a counselor to his daughter Bryn in the late 90s, so early 2000s. I don't want to date anyone considerably.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been a long journey that I have enjoyed every minute of. I'm so proud to say that I'm from Kingsport and that I represent Kingsport City Schools and Dobbins-Bennett High School. It is always a mark of pride, and I thank Kingsport for allowing me to have that experience. So I'll stop.